Hello, Aries. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and today I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. Obviously, this is not a tea leaf. This is a tarot card. We're starting with the energy of the 10 of discs, 10 of pentacles, 10 of coins, whatever you want to call them. It is all about wealth, right? Things are working out. Things are flowing in your direction. There is a sense of strong foundation of an empire being built and resources flowing in. Now, we are close to mastery, right? We are close to coming into a place of totality, really, hopefully. This is an energy that tells me whatever you've been working on, it really is coming together. There is some traction. There are, obvious output. You are producing. You are making money. You are feeling creative. Your household is in order. Your relationships hopefully thriving. And we're going to see what the tea leaves have to say. Now, this opening energy, it's not always like exactly what's going on. But it is kind of like the atmosphere, right? Like the scent of the room, if you will. All right. So I want to say thank you for clicking on the reading. Thank you for deciding to, trust in me a little bit. Maybe you know me, maybe you don't. My name is Lenor. I think I said that already. And I'm here most days doing these readings. I've been doing them for a few years now. And it's really one of the great joys of my life. Now, it's not always positive stuff, and it's sometimes even very disturbing and off-putting and whatever. But the messaging that I get, the experience of feeling other people, their memories, those that are attached to them, each of your archetypes, all of your personas and personalities. I feel very privileged to be able to experience that even just for a moment. So thank you for being here. Again, if you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, it really helps the channel. All of these kinds of interactions, even if you share the reading on a different platform, that is much appreciated. I've been asking people, why are you watching readings? Why are you seeking out divination? Not from a judgmental standpoint, obviously, but I'm nosy and I like to know about people. So I'm interested in what drives you to seek questions, right? Is this financial? Is it love? Are you looking for some kind of help moving forward? Some kind of signs, symbols, whatever, might help with the inspiration coming through. Maybe you have some kind of blockage that you're working on. I am always interested. Now, the other thing is, if you have a prayer request for yourself or somebody else, please put that in the comments, or you can email me at ulaishere@gmail.com. I would love to pray for you. I'd love to send you all kinds of energy. So yeah, let's get started. I want to take a look. I'm trying not to look at it too closely because I was like, I'm going to get totally pulled in. So we have the number 8. You can see right up here. Okay. I'm just going to readjust myself. I'm always sitting crisscross applesauce here on my chair. Oops. I'm rocking everything. I just got done redoing the table, which I'm also excited about. Okay, so we have the number 8. We also have, it looks like, 2 people You can see the head here. Here is the body, and the legs would be here. Here is where the head would be on this person. Here's the body. And they're both in these seated position. And we have the fire in between. We have that real energy of the Shekinah or the Shekinah, which is the manifestation of the divine, right? If that is masculine, feminine, usually we think of this as a masculine or a feminine expression of, God, goddess, right? That energy of Sophia. It is the intuition, the wisdom, the divine intellect, and the creative energies. Okay, so I see that there seems to be some kind of conversation happening, and I think this is very much about, kind of coming together and making plans for the future. I see that we have the circle, but it is not complete. Okay, it reminds me very much of Ouroboros or Ouroboros, however you like to pronounce that. And it, to me, really kind of indicates there's this sense of an ongoing partnership, a companionship that is, very core to your life. Maybe your spouse, your best friend, your, children. And I see you coming together very intentionally and having a conversation about what are these next years going to look like. We're not talking about just like the next few weeks or the next couple months. I'm talking about these are the bigger goals. These are let's check in with one another and make sure that we're on the same page, or at least complementary pages, right? And so I do feel like there is some amount of reassessing, taking inventory of your life, wanting to kind of change things. Now, a lot of times I'll say, okay, this feels like, somebody who is building onto their life. You're starting a business. You're, looking for ways to bring in money. And yes, that might all be true. But I also think that in this case, you are at a point where you're starting to think about how can we, minimize our life? Right? How can we go through and declutter some of the stuff? How can we refine our living to a point where we're paying a lot less? We have less bills, less responsibilities, hopefully maybe, a couple assets or whatever. But for the most part, downsizing, right? Getting it as efficient as possible. Now, I don't think this is because of, obviously the economy. The world is just in crisis at the moment. I don't think it's because of that necessarily, although who is out here not thinking about what could be, right? Or I'm having a panic attack just thinking about it, and, really hoping and praying. Not just for us in America. Of course, I am American. I live in America. And, I don't suspect that everybody knows what's going on here. But, I think that a lot of places in the world are struggling. And right now we are it's October 23rd as I'm doing this reading. Tomorrow will be October 24th when this reading comes out. So the last I looked, we're in this government shutdown, and, a lot of resources for people are being turned off. And, I've been very privileged in, that I haven't had to worry so much about this, but that doesn't mean anything, right? Because 2 seconds away, who knows? We can't just think that we're always going to be in a good position. So yeah, we're all worried about this, not only for myself, but for so many people I love. I mean, let's just be real, and I don't know. So I imagine most of us are looking at our lives and we're thinking, how can we get to a place where it's more doable, right? That it makes more sense. I don't know if you maybe are a person that has been, living not beyond your means, but, living comfortably, not afraid to do the things that you want to do, spending the money where you can, and, maybe going on a little vacation or buying the extra groceries or, whatever. And it's sad that these are the things that it's like, I got to go on a 3-day, trip to wherever. And that's like the big splurge of forever. And it's just, I don't know how we found ourselves in this position, but I also know I've been in poverty most of my life. So it's more of the same in my mind, at least that's what I tell myself. We can survive. We will survive. We'll all survive. But it's a matter of getting into, action. Being proactive, helping one another, being of service. No time can I think of besides, during the thing that was like 5 years ago. Yeah, of course then. But since then, right, I feel like we're in a place of really needing to be a community, being of service to one another. So I feel like you are absolutely thinking about what the future is going to hold here. Now, we also have the empress over here. You can see the head up here, the body, and sitting in this throne, okay, this chair. Now, we also have a person right in front, okay? It looks like we also have another person here, and it looks like maybe like a fish right here. We also have a heart. We have what's it called? We have the Taurus sign, so maybe a Taurus in your life. And I really have this distinct feeling that, as you kind of reorient yourself, reorient your life, there is going to be the opportunity to, really like build up some resources. We have that fish. It tells me that there is money flowing your way. But I think that you also are having to kind of, be very realistic with yourself and with the people around you, your kids, right? Or your grandkids, about like what we're spending and like what we're spending it on. So I do see you kind of like reorienting yourself in a direction of maybe being a bit more frugal, right? Maybe trying to save a little bit more. But also at the same time, seeing this as an opportunity to make use of what you already have, right? I think we so often get stuck in these cycles of thinking we need to do like the next thing. We got to keep doing this. We got to get things so we can do that. I want to start this hobby, so I got to buy all this stuff. And you look around in your home and you see, oh, look at all these other things that I started and never finished. Or, I got going on, I really enjoyed it, but I just ran out of time, and then you forget about it. So this might be a good time to go back through some of the stuff in your life and repurpose some of that whatever you have going, right? I do think that this is an interesting time. We have a lot of solar energy. We're being bombarded with solar flares lately. And to me, it's all about revelation. It's not the book, right? It's all about things being revealed. Okay, nothing is hidden beneath the sun. The sun illuminates all. And so we're in a place where things are really like showing themselves for what they are. There's no avoiding it. There's no looking away from it. You might have felt recently, you look around your house, it feels more cluttered. It feels maybe like you've gotten behind on some deep cleaning. And it's like, how is this happening, right? Everything we've been doing is the same. I'm still cleaning on schedule. And yet I look at this and it feels like a mess. It feels deeper and deeper yet. And that is that solar energy. Now, it can also get to a point, though, where it's like you have maybe an anxiety, a fear. You've seen what it is, and now you're, estimating in your head, how much work do I have in front of me? What am I going to do about this? And it can begin to feel overwhelming. It can begin to feel like it's really just grabbed you right up and, pulled the breath out of you, really. That's what I'm trying to say here in a nice way. And I feel like we're in that moment where it's like, am I going to run? Am I going to get, started here? Am I just going to dive in and get to work? Am I going to hide from this? Am I going to pretend nothing's going on? Well, as an Aries, I think it's impossible. And with this Empress energy, impossible for you to ignore it. You have to. You see something that needs to be picked up, you're going to pick it up. You see something that needs to be changed, you're going to change it. You see somebody that needs help, you're going to help them. You're not going to just pretend you didn't see that. That is not Aries energy at all. So I do see in your life somebody who is younger. Now, I don't think this is your child, and I don't think it's your grandchild, but I do feel like there's going to be a situation where somebody is coming to you to talk, right? Like they need some kind of advice, they need some kind of comfort. So this is maybe, a family member. It could be like the friend of one of your kids or your grandkids, and it could be somebody in your life that, like a friend of the family, and their kid is going through it and they need some guidance, and they send them to you because I don't know, maybe you're in the same industry that they're interested in, or maybe you went to the same college they want to go to, or, whatever it is. So I do see you being called upon for guidance. So be prepared for that. Now, we have some kind of party. We have a child up here with a doll. You can see right up in here. Here's the head of the child, the body, their legs, they're running around. They have a doll. Here's the head of the doll, the body. Here's like the little dress. Now, over here we have, it looks like people procreating. I don't know. People coupling. So there is a creative act happening over there. Okay. Now, we also have over here, we have a person standing here. We have some kind of circle. Maybe it's a portal. Maybe it's a mirror. Now, over here we have, it looks like a little, maybe like a little awning or something, and we have two people beneath it. Now, we have another person over here also holding maybe a wand, right? The flame, a torch, an illuminating source. And so, to me, it feels like we have this like party kind of energy going. There's a sense of merriment, of losing inhibition, of kind of almost like a childlike, like going to a rave or something, right? You go to like a place where people probably are going to be inebriated, probably are going to be partaking in different kinds of, soul medicines and plant medicines and so on and so forth. And you're going to see people behaving in ways that are stripped down of their adult kind of, cynical, repressed, conditioned, whatever behavior. And so I feel like this is a time where there's a lot of laughing and enjoying and playing and feeling like that kid again. Feeling the freedom to explore and to dance and to laugh and to hug and, all these kinds of things. And I feel that there's a lot of love in your life, flirtation. there seems to be this kind of wave of people who are like very attracted to you. I feel like you're like going out, you're, going into the gas station and paying and being kind of flirted with, not in an aggressive, icky way, but kind of, just like in a, like, yeah, I'm going to smile about that for the rest of the day when I think of it kind of vibe. And I feel almost a sense of, in this state of kind of releasing yourself of the inhibitions, a lot of clarity. Because you're not so worried about like, oh, what are they going to think of me? Or, oh, do I look silly? Or if I say this, is anybody going to understand what I'm talking about? Like, who cares, right? You just let it flow. And as you are, I feel this, like, it's almost like a window opening in your chest. The birds in your heart are flying and everything is at ease, and there are just little droplets of joy kind of dripping in, and it is something exciting. It is something to behold, and I feel you singing and dancing and loving and really connecting. And that's the thing, really being able to connect not only to other people but to life. You're stopping, your hand is like drifting across the flowers as you walk, you're touching things, you're feeling things, you're looking at things. How beautiful life is, how perfect everything goes together, everything in its right place, and everything is everything, and everything is everything, and everything is everything. All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to see what is on this one. I want to kind of we have like a princess. That's what it looks like, straight up. Frolicking. And I feel like this is a great time for you, Aries, to be frolicking, because it just... And let's look. I'm just going to show this to you, then I'm going to cover it. We have the head of the person right here, the hair, the little, dress. It's all white and beautiful. And then we have kind of like things coming along with you where there was some anxiety out in here. It's like you're dancing through the meadows away from it, and the birds and the rabbits and the I don't know what else, the skunk. They're all following you, right? Like it's a genuine Disney movie. And I want to see. We're gonna ask the Oracle of the Radiant Sun, right here. What is this next period of time really going to lead to for you? Because we have all this good all these good feelings, and we have this really good like rush of luck and abundance and opportunity. So what is that going to look like? So we're going to pull a couple cards here, and I can't do it with my regular finger that I do. I don't want to get too close because it's kind of icky, but anyways, I don't know. I don't think you can really see it here. Oh, there. I definitely got myself this morning. So we got a little cut and got some, what's it called? Super glue on it. My daughter's like, why are you putting super glue? Honey, I didn't have health insurance for most of my life. All right. We do what we must. She's like, well, can I put some on me? No, you have health insurance. You are going to a doctor if you cut yourself. All right. Resourcefulness, flirtation, and companionship. All right. So again, with that like flirty energy in your life, and I feel like there's a sense of not necessarily just a companionship with one person. I feel like there's almost a sense of like you're finding like companionship wherever you go. You're like just beaming with like sunshine and smiles, and people are drawn to you. They're talking to you. You're making friends. People are remembering you. It feels really nice. Okay, so we have discrimination, which it's not always a bad thing. This is like also discernment. It's making sure that you're making the right choice by going over the dang old thing. Okay, here we go. Defense and friendship. So I do feel like in this part of your life, there is this, like a wave of kindredness, of friendship. And maybe it is. You are in a situation where maybe you're sticking up for somebody. Maybe you're advocating for somebody. Maybe you see something going on that you don't agree with and you get involved. And through this, you make a friendship. You make a connection. And I feel that in this next period of time, you are going to be, it's not like a single person, but I just feel like you're so plugged into everybody. You're riding this feel-good wave lately. And I think that's great. I'm sure people in your life are very thankful, right? Because with the opposite, there's a lot of people that are just going through it in bad moods. And I get it. I understand why. 61. 61 is our first lucky number. 79. 61, 79, and 76. 76. I need a drink of water here. Or coffee. 76. I know, I feel goofy. Goofy girl. My coffee cup, it pours really slow, so it sounds like you're pouring like a gallon of coffee in your mouth, and it's like a little sip. Oh, yes, let's finish with these are the Mystique the Mystique of Magdalene or Magdalena. And that's Mary Magdalene, one of my patron saints. And I haven't really used this deck a lot on camera, but it's so beautiful. I thought it was a great time of year for it. We'll stop where it feels right. And it says, here we go. Number 24, Dolmen des Fedes. Dolmen des Fedes. I don't know how to say it in real life. Fades. Dolmen des Fades. Silence. And we can see in the Doma, or the cave, the holy, yoni, really, right? The womb. And we have the beautiful, beautiful Magdalene, and she is wrapped in red. She has her hair down. She's in the pennant posture. If you know anything about Magdalena or Magdalene, she goes through a transformations, right? And so after she has inherited the church, and this is what they say, she's the inheritor, the vessel, she goes off to be alone, right? She is in her solitary wilderness. And this is when she, depending on what historical timeline or, lore you believe or interest, you know, I don't know. Listen, they're all cool. I like all the stories. Anyways, she goes off, she hangs out in a cave, and she, you know, basically contemplates. She contemplates, she prays, she communes, she kind of formulates like the path forward, because the work has changed drastically. You know, she has just gone through a huge tower moment, losing her guru, her prophet, her beloved companion, and so the silence that follows these transitions is important. Contemplation, important. We don't do it a lot anymore. Can you think of the last time that you even just like went to the bathroom without your phone? You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have any downtime. I mean, some people do. I'm always very surprised to see people out in the world operating without something in their hand. But you know, we need more contemplation. We need more thinking, just thinking about stuff, not ruminating. Okay, not ruminating, but really, really going over not only just situations and you know, the busyness of our lives, but really deeply considering things, hopefully down to their root. Right? So, anyhow, I love you, Aries. Please take care of yourself. If you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I support you in doing that. I love you, I love you, I love you. We'll talk soon, and good night.